It's still saying, hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Google Hangout. This is the Unit of Prosperity. I am Deidre Jones, a member of the Council for the Unit of Prosperity. We're so excited I can hardly speak. This is the week that we will touch down in Las Vegas, Nevada for the first time ever DS Domination Live event. And boy, oh boy, are we all excited. We have a full panel tonight of people who have had an outstanding and magnificent experience with DS Domination, probably their last stop. And a lot of us have been in business, and we are just really looking to make money online, and a lot of our panelists tonight have done just that. So before we get started, I would like to tell you that whatever you hear tonight, it's just a disclaimer for income, because you may hear a significant amount of income flying around tonight. But that's okay. I just want to let you know that there is no guarantee that you would be able to make that type of income, because we don't have any idea of your work ethics. But from there, I will just hand it over to my co-host, Valerie Mason, and who will take it from here.
Hey everybody, my name is Valerie Mason and welcome to tonight's Monday Google Night Hangout. So today we have a panel of faces, and this is like the pre-Vegas party, and we're all excited because we're heading out to Vegas to meet with each other and to meet up with the owners of this opportunity who's going to share some amazing new training with us to show us how to make even more money online. So let me get to the panelists, because I'm excited to talk to these people, because we always have like fresh faces on here, and that's what it's all about. It's not just about the gurus making money. It's not just about the top leaders making money. It's about everyday people having amazing results. So who am I going to tap here? I'm just going to go in order. I'm going to start with Austin right here. I'm going to go with Austin. Austin Williams, welcome to the panel. Good to see you. So I'm going to start with the basic question. What brought you to DS Domination?
Thanks so much, Valerie, for that. DS Domination, I've been in other companies and stuff beforehand, but the two words that brought me to DS Domination was the fact that I did not have to recruit. Now, I love sharing opportunities with individuals. I love networking with people, but having to be that sole focus of recruiting was the linchpin that allowed me to actually join. So I had no recruiting necessary, and literally making profit within a few hours of joining. Okay. It was the video, that one video that we have with Roger, literally just made me sign up right then and there. As soon as I saw it, it was just the amazing experience ever, and I knew this is where the place was going to be. This is where I've been looking for my entire time.
Wow. So you were in other opportunities before DS Domination?
I was, yes. I started off with network marketing at the age of 20.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow!
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing because we're gonna have a panel of people with a big range of ages. So, you started at the age of 20, and what was your experience in network marketing before DS Domination?
Prior to that, it was mostly. My work ethic was there, so I was working the business really hard, but trying to maintain a large team and having people on auto ships and just the requirements that they had to always invest, and taking so much time to actually be in profit was the cause of people not always staying. Providing with lots of training and everything doesn't really keep them if they're not seeing that particular profit margins. But when you can actually show people, hey, I signed up the day of my birthday, and the following day I had a sale it was 11 hours later, and was in complete profits within that particular day with one sale. So it was just an amazing experience. It was literally the best birthday gift I ever gave myself.
So before you came to DS Domination, were you an experienced eBay seller?
No, I was not. No, not at all.
Okay, so look at my notes. You got your first sale within a few hours, and of course, results will vary.
Correct.
What was it that got you the results so quickly if you were an experienced seller?
It was the training. It was literally following the training step by step. I'm a sponge. I soak up a lot of information. I'm always looking for ways to increase knowledge and whatever. Even after graduating college, I was always on that path of just continuously learning. And those step-by-step videos just really drove home to me. And it was just like, the mindset that Roger established in the beginning, and just following throughout the process, the titling, the photos, everything. It just really helped.
And it just clicked for you like that.
Clicked for me just like that, and it's been a joyous ride these past 5 months.
5 months? You've been in for 5 months?
Yeah. January is when I started.
That's amazing. So in 5 months, what is the biggest thing you've taken away from DS Domination? Besides the fact that no recruiting and you're able to build a business without depending upon others, what has been like the major breakthrough for you with DS Domination?
The major breakthrough really has been the mindset change. I mean, we focus a lot on eBay selling and whatnot, but it's the mindset, because you're going to go and look at other people who may be selling the same products and whatnot, and the pricing may be a huge difference. But just having that mindset and the skills in which Roger and the team shows us really allows you to make money, and it has been a transformational experience. I've been in, I've started businesses since I was the age of 20. Now I'm 26 right now, and I've had several other businesses in between and opportunities and whatnot. But it's really the mindset training that has really, really sparked things and has caused me to work on different projects and think of ways to take DS Domination and other projects to the next level.
Wow. And one last question. Why are you going to Vegas?
I am a true Besides the obvious that's Vegas and that I'm a travelholic, you'll always find me on some type of trip or plane once a month at least, is because it is the energy that an event gives you. Like the convention and people around you all rallying for that one particular cause really will be life-changing for people. And for anyone who is on the call that's actually part of DS Domination, you need to come to the event. It's going to be the most amazing experience ever. I am going to be there for 6 long days, just soaking in as much information as I can, interacting with people, and staying afterwards to stay in that location and apply everything I learned right then and there. So it's just, you get that energy, you get that feeling, you're going to be around a whole bunch of positive people, thousands of people coming together. It's just going to be a wonderful experience. That's why I'm there for entire 6 days. I couldn't wait till Friday, so I'm flying out Wednesday.
That's right. That's right.
I'll be there Wednesday too.
Yes.
It's a big party. It's going to be a huge party. Well, Austin, thank you so much. And I think it's really important that something you just said was just so important about the mindset. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people, like Austin, they may have started opportunities before and they've been discouraged, and and then you go, what do I do now? Do I start something else? I just give up. But once you start something like this, your mindset has to be in a position where you are not ready to quit. You are not going to quit. And it's really difficult to quit when you have so much being given to you. Not just the training, but also we have a large Facebook group of over 10,000 people who are always willing to help you. You post a question there 24/7. Someone's got an answer. Someone's in there. We have people from all around the world there for you. And then we have the training every single week to help reinforce what you learned from day one. So the thing is, if your mindset isn't right, then nothing is going to work for you. But if you come into this ready to soak up the knowledge like Austin did, and you can have results very similar. But again, it all depends on your mindset, your work ethic, how well you follow instructions. So thank you again, Austin, so much for being on the Hangout. And I'm going to pick my next person here. I'm going to switch it up. So I said I was going to go in order. I changed my mind. I'm going to go over here to Ronald. Hey, Ronald. Can you hear us? Okay, I can't hear you, Ronald. Can you unmute yourself?
Hello?
There we go. Ronald, how are you?
Oh, this is Jamar, not Ronald. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I need you to mute yourself out. I'm trying to get Ronald here. I was gonna go in order, but I switched around. But since we're having problems with Ronald, then Star Mars, I'm going to speak with you. Can we get you on a live feed here? So I can only see your photo. Star Mars, can you hear me? All right, so I'm going to have to go back in order. Bruce.
Good evening.
Bruce, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I'm here. How are you?
Awesome. Sorry about that, everybody. Bruce, how are you? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. I'm fantastic.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I've been seeing you in the Facebook group doing amazing things, but I'm not going to tell the story. I'm going to let you tell the story. So what brought you to DS Domination?
I saw my sponsor over quite a period of time, Shehan Williams, and she was posting, different proofs and different results and things that she was having. And at the time that I first saw this business, I really wasn't looking. But her posts and a lot of others that I'd seen were making me curious. And in addition to that, I was driving somewhere between 150 and 300 miles a day in my conventional business that I owned. Didn't have any time. Still, that business is still growing, and built that from the ground up in Texas, a place that I'd never been to, in 2.5 years, from zero to about $250,000 by the end of this year.
Wow.
So, bottom line, I was busy and still am. I wasn't looking for something else, but what I was looking for was basically to be able to buy my time back, to be able to have the opportunity for me to run a business instead of the business running me. And in addition to that, my passion, and for you veterans that are on the call, this evening, thank you very much for your service and your sacrifice, and your families as well, because I work with veterans all over the country, and I travel a lot working with veterans on a volunteer basis. So what this does is this DSD gives me the opportunity to be able to live my passion, and not we all need dollars to live and pay the bills and etc. But be able to go out and do the things that we love to do, and not just live paycheck to paycheck. And there's more to life. We can go out and touch a lot of lives in a variety of different perspectives by going out and building this business.
So you said that you were looking to get your time back. Have you gotten some of your time back since you started DS Domination?
I was actually able to transfer one of my largest routes. I have a snack food distribution company that I distribute some crazy exotic products. I sell jerky, about 30 different flavors. I have alligator and kangaroo and all kinds of other fun stuff.
You got to bring some to Vegas.
I can do that. But I cover about 110 counties in Texas and Oklahoma. My company does, and I have 10 other people. So I was able to transfer one of my largest routes over to one of the guys that's worked for me, or with me, I should say, as an independent contractor, and be able to buy a bunch of my time back. Now I've got some other routes that I still run, but in a very short fashion. Not only am I going to be able to transfer all those routes over, but my real objective, my wife just came to me about a week and a half ago, and she's been in property management, which is very high stress, and I won't tell you what her age is, but she just wanted to retire in the next 5 years, and looking at where we're going, we'll be able to get her out of there in about a year. So she wants to come home and or work with me, and so that's those are, like I said, it makes life that much more fun when you're able to do things together and then live your passions. And she's a veteran as well, so we can go work those with those veterans together, and that's awesome.
So your passion is working with veterans?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's awesome. So what are some of the things you do with veterans?
I do a lot of process a lot of VA benefits claims. I also take a lot of nighttime phone calls in many cases. I work with vets with PTSD.
Wow.
And I do a lot of suicide prevention calls.
Wow.
So I believe that if I need to stay up all night, as long as those veterans are still alive in the morning, from simply sitting and talking with them and knowing that somebody cares and listening to them, that's what life's about.
Wow. Oh my goodness, Bruce, that's so touching. I'm like, I water in my eyes here, and it doesn't take much for me, but that is really touching, especially today, Memorial Day, where we do want to thank our servicemen for all that they've done. So DS Domination has given you your time back. It has allowed you to keep pursuing your passions with helping veterans, and it's going to bring your wife home early for retirement.
Absolutely.
How amazing is that? And that's
Well,
all because of DS domination. Now, before you started DSD, did you have any eBay training at all?
I had an eBay account, but it was basically an empty shell.
Right.
I also had an Amazon account, and I really didn't do anything with it. I just kind of looked around a couple of times, and that was about it. I also had I'm an old school network marketer. I've been around since 1989 in the MLM or multi-level network marketing business, and I started in a variety of different businesses, kind of doing things the old way with
Right.
brochures and flyers, and we can still use those today. I still do a lot of offline marketing as well as online marketing, and it's a lot of fun. I was able to actually meet one couple, which they're going to be in Vegas coming up, and I was able to meet them at a Home Depot parking lot. And it was cold that day. We got talking, and I gave them a card, and lo and behold, they were actually moving out of my town that day, and it was divine intervention that we ran into each other that day. And lo and behold, come to find out that they were already power sellers on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so they called me back, and while they were packing boxes, they actually had their computer still fired up, and so they joined that day while they were packing.
That's
And so it's fun. I mean, you just never know whose life you're going to change just simply by reaching out and saying hi to somebody. And I use a lot of offline tools. One of them, there's an
I love
offline
that
tool.
thing.
Money drop cards, and bottom line, if I can share the initial investment, the investment in a typical offline business, conventional business, could be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you can get started in this business for exactly that, for $19.95, $20.
Did you see what Bruce did? Bruce just dropped a big part of our marketing strategy right here, guys, okay? That little card he held up that was like a $20 bill works magic. It really does. So you just got a major marketing tip here on the Hangout. So before I let you go, Bruce, why are you going to Vegas?
There's such a wealth of information, and I know it's going to be mentioned again over and over on this call, but you just got to be there. It's kind of like explaining to somebody what a pro football game is like when they've never been to one. It's the experience. And if you're not going, you're really missing the boat. You need to be there. Do whatever it takes to get there, because you'll come back with an entire different mindset. You'll come back with information that you certainly couldn't buy. And then the main important thing is information's only power if you put it to work. So come back and put the work clothes on, and then go take care. Go do what you got to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bruce, for being on, and such amazing work you do with veterans. That's just really amazing. We owe you a serious gratitude as well. Thank you so much. I'm going to switch back over here and see if I can get Ronald back. Ronald, are you with us?
Hello, Valerie. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Awesome. I had to log out and log back in. That helped, I guess.
No problem. No problem. I'm so glad you were able to do that. Thank you for taking the time to do that.
No problem.
Ronald, so thank you for being on the panel. Oh, I can't see you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
There he is.
All right. Did you hit a button?
No, I haven't touched anything.
All right. We're going to go on with you because I want to hear your story, and I think we all need to. Ronald, tell us, what brought you to DS Domination?
Well, I started drop shipping on eBay in March of 2012, and I learned from one of Roger's top students back then of how to do what we're all learning now with DS Domination. And so I kind of got a little insight and a head start on a lot of people before DS Domination launched. I was one of the founding members of DS Domination.
Wow.
And so, and Reginald's in my team. So you're all in my team. It's somewhere. So kind of exciting. And Reginald's on my 5th level. So
That's hilarious.
I just thought I would share that, and to show that, you know, I didn't know Reginald, but he's in my team. So but I'm looking forward to meeting y'all at the convention. So
you started drop shipping in 2012 using this information that Roger created.
Correct.
Oh my goodness. So what has your experience been with DS Domination so far?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. I've never been much of a marketer, but I've been able to create a huge team under me, with, you know, only bringing in. I've only brought in 18 people personally into my organization. Well, that are currently active. I brought in more than that. I think I brought in 25 total, but 18 are still there.
That's amazing. That's high retention.
But I have almost 10,000 people in my team, so that's pretty exciting for me. Which the part about eBay that I like is, you know, I learned a lot of things that I learned before I ever watched any of Roger's trainings. So I actually know some things that I can share that a lot of people don't know, and that Roger doesn't share. So and it's not that he can't share it. It's you know, the little tricks and things that you know, he hints at some of them in the webinars, but he can't actually promote them. So, but teaching new people how to get started that don't have any money or that are very limited on money is what I like to do, and I thrive on teaching people how to get started with very little. And the biggest problem is, I think, people having to list items that are $35 or more is tough for someone starting out that's tight on money, and that will cause a lot of people to drop out because they don't have the money. So I've been helping and sharing with people how to get involved for less and not have to
you thrive on helping the little person really get started.
Pardon me?
I said, so you thrive on helping the little person get started. I mean,
yes.
Someone who's completely brand new, who's completely you know, they watch the trainings, but still they may need a little bit more. So that's wonderful that you have this expertise where you came in before this whole thing happened, and you can help people and take them by the hand. I think it's incredible that you brought on 25 people and you still have 18, which is really rare in this industry for us, because attrition is really high typically in typical MLMs. But for you to still have 18 people who are still active, that's a very high retention rate. That's something that I know DS Domination has mentioned before, and there you are providing the numbers, and then here you are, you have this huge team where, you know, marketing is not really your deal. So I think that's pretty cool. And I want to ask one thing. You've been doing this since 2012. What would be your biggest, I would say, your biggest tip for someone who's just starting out?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, you know, when you're starting out and you don't have an existing eBay account, that's the hardest obstacle, I think, for someone starting out. And I know you didn't want to bring up PayPal jail and all that.
No, I'm not going to do that. So give us another tip.
but a new person starting out, that is the biggest, hardest thing for them to get started. And I know there's some things I probably can't share in an open chat like this, but there are some things I can share with people that can help them get started for less investment up front out of their pocket. So
okay. Well, here's something I don't want to. I know one thing I want to get to is that I know for a fact that you are absolutely crushing it on eBay. So, and although I know we talked about income disclaimers, can you give us an idea of how you're doing on eBay?
Well, on eBay, when I'm pushing a lot on other areas too with Amazon, but on eBay, before I quit my job, I was bringing in $2,000 a month part-time on eBay. That's take home, and that was just playing around with low-priced items. And what I'm talking about is most of my items are under $35.
Wow. So that was before you quit your job. Now, when did you quit your job?
I quit my job back in well, I quit twice. I quit early, and then my wife was a little paranoid and wanted me to go back to work, so I went part-time. But last October, I quit my job right about the time DS Domination kicked off, and it just boosted my income to the point where I could quit and go full-time. And so I've been building my Amazon business over the last 6 months. So eBay has been kind of pushed off to the side a little. I'm really still building eBay, but I have 2 accounts. One's my wife's and one's my own.
Right.
And I have about 350 items on my account, and I have about 150 on my wife's account, and I have steady sales every day, and that's the key to steady sales every day is everyday household items, and that's a pointer that you asked what the new person could do to get started, and that's it, everyday household items, because that is what a lot of people I've seen that are starting out show me their eBay accounts, and they've got all these real high expensive items up there that are not things people buy every day.
Wow.
And everyday household items are
That's
the
an
key.
awesome tip. Did you guys hear that? So first we have Bruce dropping us some marketing information, and now we have Ronald here who has quit his job, does this full time, and said sell everyday items. I mean, you guys got 2 bits of information you can take and run and start making some money like tonight. And for those of you who are you cannot wait to get started, you got to find out exactly what it is that we're doing. There are 2 buttons below. One that's to join our team, and one to get more information. The information you're getting right here. So the only button you need to click is to join our team. So Ronald, I want to thank you so much for being on with us tonight, and I want to move on. I want to get over here to Star Mars if he can get us here and put his face up so we can do a live feed with him. Star Mars, are you there? I know you're there, Star Mars. I know you are.
No, I am. Here I am. Okay, let me get the avatar. Okay.
Ah! Now
Sitting
yes,
home.
keep the camera going. Hey!
Can you guys see me?
Yes, we can definitely see you. Thank you so much for being patient. Star Mars, tell us, man, what brought you to DS Domination?
Well, guys, I'm an entrepreneur at Spirit. I never I didn't finish college. I went there. Basketball didn't happen, so I didn't see myself working. So I was always multi-level marketing and everything. So I'm a multi-level marketing heart. I've been doing this for about 15, 16 years. And this company here, I was introduced to it in November, right after Thanksgiving. And guys, I'm a quadriplegic. 2 years ago, I was paralyzed from the neck down. Basically sentenced to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. You told me I like right there. And basically, I walked again, but it was a struggle. And we're on disability. My wife had lost her job about a year ago. And with me trying to go to therapy, that's cool. And with me trying to go to therapy and get back up, we were struggling with just $800 disability, and we have 4 kids together.
Wow.
I was introduced to discrimination right before Christmas. I got that check for $800, and I knew that Christmas was.
Oh no.
Hello. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. My thing blanked out. What happened when you got your $800 check?
I got my $800 check right after Thanksgiving, and I knew Christmas was we got to do something. And I took a chance with this company. I was introduced to this company by a friend of mine, Coach Kyra Love, and I took a chance. And within 2-3 days, I had sold a football. So the basketball, I upgraded to elite. I say this is gonna happen, and I doubled, more than double, maybe $1,500 my first month at DS Domination, saving our Christmas. I sold the hottest toys, so we had the hottest toys. It was amazing. I put it all over Facebook, and I've been here ever since. And I thought next month would be slow. I made $1,100 profit, which was amazing for a slow month. And I've never made a
Wow. Wow.
here until this is amazing, and it saved me. And now I'm able to go to therapy and eat the foods I have, and I had to pay for the medicine to get me up. I couldn't take the medicine that the doctors were going to give me because it wasn't going to make me walk again. And so I have to pay for my medication that I'm getting from a scientist that fixes my cells. And DS Domination is the reason why I'm able to feed my family and we can able to survive this event, this journey that I'm having. That's my story.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
You know, Valerie, that's the thing that we love so much about DS Domination. I have got to say that we probably have such a wide spectrum of people that we don't even realize their disabilities, because this is a business that anyone can do. It doesn't matter. I love it that most of us, we didn't even know that because it's not important. We are all here together. We are the unit of prosperity, a team within DS Domination, and we have so many people on our team with disabilities, and it doesn't even matter. It's wonderful that we meet online. This is an online community, but it doesn't matter. Your disabilities don't matter. It allows each of you and all of us to give back to each other, to support one another, and none of that stuff matters. We have people in other countries. This is a global business that gives everyone an opportunity to make it happen. It doesn't matter what has happened before. It doesn't matter what has happened in the past. We are starting fresh and new. So I am so glad that you were on our panel tonight. God bless you. I mean, everyone on this panel, we all have unique purposes. And it's just wonderful that we come together not knowing any of these things, but look what happens as a result. I love DS Domination. Unit of Prosperity, the biggest team here in DS Domination. We're not just here by accident. We were meant to be right on this team where we are. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your story. That is awesome and amazing.
Thank you. This business is just as awesome, and this must be shared, you know. So thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for that. I mean, you're talking about people who don't make excuses. That's like an amazing story. This is like, it doesn't matter what you think your problem is. I always say this, you are not your struggle, okay? Because if you believe you're your struggle, then that's it. It's a wrap for you. But when you really believe, and this goes back to what Austin said about mindset. He said, I upgraded to elite and I knew this was going to work. And boom, it worked. So Star Mars, he's going to Vegas with us, so I cannot wait to meet him.
Yes.
This is what I'm talking about. So I'm just so truly impressed and honored to have people like this on the panel who show you that it doesn't matter where you've been, it's about where you're going. So I'm going to turn this back over to my my co-host, who just, thank God she said something when I was totally speechless because I was totally struck by what Star Mars had to say. So I'm going to turn it over to Deetra Jones, but before I turn it over to her, I'm just going to ask her, Deetra, my dear, my co-host, this is like the second time co-hosting with her. It's becoming such a ball. What brought you to DS Domination?
Well, let's see. What has brought me to DS Domination? Well, you know, I am a divorced mom of 3 boys, and I left my job some 7 years ago because I was tired of throwing kids from the car really, really early in the morning with their pajamas on, and I was tired of feeling guilty on my way to work. I was like 30 miles away from them, and so, you know, really it's about the quality of life, and when you have time to spend with your family and your children, that's what really matters to me. So I figure people are always talking about this new generation and how they're this and they're that. Well, I wanted to be available for my children. So I was in another company, and I went to an event, and I met my sponsors there as we were all exiting the event. So I kept up with them, and they kept up with me. And so I became, I got started right away, but I was going to travel for I was going on travel for the next week or 10 days, and I didn't even want to go on my trip. I was going on a cruise. I didn't even want to go. That's how geeked up and psyched I was about DS domination. I wanted to stay home and make it happen right then. But when I came back, I got started right away. And just in case you can't tell, I kind of get excited sometimes and have fun. You know, and the excitement, it never wanes in DS domination. So it has stayed. I've been in here since November. And I've been able to be at home when my children leave. I'm home when they get home. I can take them to football practice. I can even go to 2 games in one day. I can go to the school during the day. Yes, indeed. And as you know, Valerie, I have put my utilities on auto pay from my PayPal account because my utilities are paid via profit. So to me, it comes out of thin air. I don't have to go to the bank. The money comes straight into my hands while I'm asleep, while I'm in my car, while I'm getting my hair done. The money comes. So that's why, yes, that's why I'm in DS domination, because I can make money whether my eyes are open or closed, and I can also help other single moms and dads help their children. Again, it allows us to give back.
I was going to make a comment. You know, it's so awesome with DS domination because you do get paid in your sleep, but you also get paid every 24/7, so you can be in the midst of an argument, which I was in a heated battle with my wife. I can't believe it. You're gonna shashing. You know what, baby? What are we fighting for? This is crazy. I mean, it's let's go get something to eat. We can raise some money.
That's a nice deviation, isn't it? That is the best deviation. In fact, I'd like to say before we came on the air, somebody got a cha-ching. Somebody got a cha-ching right before we came on the air, and that's the wonderful thing, too, is that you can make cash every day in this business. So I know Valerie asked me, the original question was why I came to DS Domination, and as you can see from this panel, there are several reasons why I'm here. Most of all, I can make $250 a day and never put my shoes on. That's bomb. I don't care where you're from. That is good stuff, and we can all do that whether we're whatever we want to do. Life is what you make it. So each day I'm able to live my life the way I want to. I can work from home at the beach, whatever I want to do. So I love DS Domination. I love all of you and how we've been able to come together, all 10,600 of us. When I came into DS Domination, I was number like 485. We are now almost up to 11,000 people on the team of the Unit of Prosperity. So the excitement continues. It doesn't wane at all. From November to now, this is May, almost June, and we're going to Las Vegas. I'm still just as excited as I was back in November. So if you're excited, click the button beneath this hangout, and you can get started for $19.95. It'll be the best $20 you've ever spent. And you don't need to ask anyone for approval, because if you ask people a $50,000 question, you're only going to get a $50,000 answer. But here in DS Domination, that's a drop in the bucket. Everything's available to you for the taking, so click the button, and we'll see you on the inside. So with that said, guess what? I'm moving on. I want to talk to Dell Edwards, who, wait a minute, I'm going to have to tone my excitement down because Dell is going to knock me down, I think. I'm going to let Dell tell you why she came, how she got to DS Domination, and why she stayed. Hi, Dell.
Hello, Deetra. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Okay, well, my story is a little bit different from everyone. I have been an entrepreneur my whole life. I've been a self-employed my entire adult life. By profession, I am an optometrist. That's what I do in my day job. Okay, and so I always thought, you know, that when I became an optometrist, that was going to be it for me. That was what I was going to do forever, and whatever, it would be fine. Well, a couple of years ago, I ended up having a major incident. I had a sciatic nerve issue. A disc slipped in my back. And when you're self-employed, if you don't work, you don't eat. Okay? You don't get paid. And so that's what happened to me. I was on my back for about a total of 5.5 months last year. I still had to pay lease on my space. I still had to, you know, pay for my mortgage. I still had to pay my own health insurance because I'm self-employed. And I was siphoning out money like you wouldn't believe. It was exiting my bank account crazily. And I got to a place where I was very, very scared, very nervous, very frightened. I didn't tell my family how bad it was. I'm single. I didn't tell my parents how bad it was because I didn't want them to worry. And this last Christmas, I was introduced to DS domination. Now, at that point, my back had been getting better, and I was on the way back, seeing patients and doing whatever I had to do. And I was like, you know, not paying attention. I can do this. Everything's going to be fine. That was just a temporary setback. I'm a very positive thinking kind of person. And then my parents came to visit on December 15th. On December 16th, my back went out again. This time I was out, laid out on the floor, and my mom had to stay with me. And during that period of time, I was very, very nervous. How am I going to survive? And my sponsor called me back and said, did you take a look at that link that I sent you? Which is really a big deal. I mean, you need to call people back. Follow-up is everything. I went and I took a look this time, and this time I was on my back with my cell phone and with my little laptop. I took a look, signed up, and joined in January while I was still on my back and started listing things from the floor. And that's how I got involved with DS domination.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Within a couple of months. Yes, go ahead.
No, so you were injured basically when you got started with DS domination, but that didn't stop your mindset, did it?
No, actually, I really am grateful for the injury, because if I had not been on my back, I don't believe I would have paid attention to DS domination.
You know, that's the epitome, really, of being thankful in all things, honestly. That's really an amazing story, Del. So how long, okay, so you came in January, and so it is now May. So what have been your results?
Well, I've done network marketing and stuff, you know, since my 20s. I've been dabbling in everything that's under the sun. And I think the most I've ever had in a team was like 5 people. The most I've ever done was, you know, be on AutoShip spending $60 a month and getting back a check for like $9.25. So I've never really made money. I've learned how to do marketing online, but I've never really made money. So this time, when I got involved, I was kind of a slow kind of person, wanted to read everything, study everything, and get started. And it took me about almost 2 weeks, but I listed some things and I got a sale. And the minute I got a sale, I was convinced this is it. I just pulled money out of the sky, out of the air. I was so excited, it was ridiculous. I was like, okay, you know what? I don't care what happened. I was like, okay, I know my finances are bad right now, but I still have good credit at this moment. That may change at any second, so let me go all in right now. And that's exactly what I did. I was so convinced. I told my sister, I told my mom, they got involved in this business. And because of me sharing this business, I've introduced this business to about 19 people myself. I've never, ever been able to do that before, ever. But after that happened, the people on my team started making money. And because of that, I now have an organization with, you know, over 100 people in it. Who has that? I have like 5 levels deep. When has that ever happened? Never. Never. Yes.
And that's what the wonderful thing about DS domination is because in the word of recruiting, that as we have known it, that is not what happens in DS domination. Because of what happens to you and how it becomes so positive and your results kind of happen. And the thing I like most is that when people see you doing things that they didn't think you could afford, because they're always counting your money. When they see you doing things that they thought you couldn't afford, they want to know, oh, Del, where you going to eat there? Oh, you know, and then, you know, they start getting curious. So you end up using their curiosity as a tool. But it's not recruiting as we know it. So it kind of happens by default. And we also are not a pressure type company, and that's what I wanted to ask you about. You just started telling people. I mean, I'm a lot like you. We can tell by our excitement what's really going on with us, and it's sincere and it's genuine. And so I appreciate that. So I can imagine how you did get 100 people, but you didn't feel pressured, or you didn't feel like you were hounding your cousins and your to join, right?
It's not me that really got the 100 people. For me, it was the team. everybody telling one or two people, my sister, who's never done any kind of network marketing, she got on her mommy boards and started sharing it, and she is one of my primary recruiters, and she never would have been a recruiter, ever, I don't believe, had it not been for DS Domination. I mean, this is just amazing.
Yeah,
yes.
She's just sharing. And with this thing, you're just sharing it. You really do not feel that way at all, and you know what? You don't go out to do this. You just do it as you go on your daily goings on, and I love that. And the smiles that I see on your face, the smiles, Austin, Bruce, the smiles that are on people's faces, they really are genuine, and you can feel the sincerity in it. So this business has so many benefits. I don't know what endorphins are released when we do all this grinning and smiling, but I tell you one thing, it works, just like DS Domination. So it's awesome.
One more thing I have to tell you. One more thing I got to say. This is the very first time ever that I have made so much money with a business that the business can pay for me to travel somewhere. I am going to Vegas on Thursday. I bought a plane ticket. I bought hotel accommodations at the Las Vegas Hotel. I mean, I have an event ticket, and I have travel money. And all of that came because of this business, okay? So I'm like, I'm all in, and that's all she wrote.
No, well, you know what? You thought that was your last thing to say. Well, that was going to be my last question for you. But in any case, I'm so glad that you did take that right out of my mouth, literally. And so for those of you who are watching, I would like to remind you that in order to get started and be as giddy and silly as Dell and the rest of us, you can click the button below, get started right away, and hey, feel free to come join us in Vegas. We will absolutely, totally be there 100% getting all the cutting edge knowledge so that we can come back, certainly not as we were when we left, and our net worth is going to increase by leaps and bounds because of the knowledge that we get. That's the one thing. The training is priceless here in DS Domination. So, Dell, thank you so very, very much. I totally understand why you're going to be in Las Vegas, because I will be there as well to meet you and give you a hug, honey. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being on the panel tonight. And I'm going to ease on down the road and see who I can talk to next, which should be Daniela Bella. Are you there? Daniela, are you there?
Hey,
yes,
Deetra.
Hey,
how are you?
Hi.
Hi,
good.
ladies.
How you feeling?
Woo! I'm feeling amazing.
That's right.
I'm so happy. This was a last-minute jump on this call. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Thank you to the veterans of this country. I'm excited to be here.
Great. So can you tell us how you got started with DS Domination?
You know what, Deetra? I got started with DS Domination.
Yes, I want to know how you got started with DS Domination.
My retired father actually presented this opportunity to me, and I saw the opportunity, and I was like, let's go. Where do I sign up? It just made sense to me. You know what? I'm 7 months pregnant, and I am a former yoga instructor, and I am, just to piggyback on top of what you were saying, Deetra, it was always so hard for me to leave my child at daycare and nannies and babysitters. It just wore my family out. My career was exploding, but I was just this inner tug of war. It was just so hard for me, you know, and there was the guilt of just having to drop her off, and you know, I physically had to be in a place to make money. And with DS Domination, it is completely different, you know. I mean, I just made a few sales while sitting by the pool on Memorial Day with my family, and I'm watching my daughter swim, and I just looked up and I had this aha moment, like this is it, you know, this is exactly what I prayed for so long. And thank you, Dad. So
right.
So I began DS Domination a few months ago. I made my first sale within 48 hours. And I just was sold. I'm like, this makes sense, you know? So I started telling a lot of my girlfriends and Facebook, and, you know, it pretty much sells itself, I would say. You know, these are time-tested techniques that the owner has put into video modules for us to learn, and it's really a no-brainer. You know, if you have a strong work ethic and you want to make a change in your life, this is a wonderful opportunity. It's really changed my life for the better. I'm able to stay home now. I don't have to worry about maternity leave. Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine that right now. So I'm excited.
You must feel very relieved. You must feel very relieved, and that is such a wonderful thing. So, you know, what I want to ask you is the flexibility for your life, because you no longer feel the pressure, which I'm hearing you say, which is just such a great feeling, especially since you're pregnant now. You don't need the added stress. But what has it done in terms of your stress level in your house or not having to leave your house?
You know what? That's a great question. It has. There is no stress. There isn't. You know, for me, I was always stressed out. I think also being a busy New York City mom, maybe Valerie, you can understand that. You know, it's always go, go, go. I had a yoga studio. I had to drop her off at school, run to studio, teach 5 classes, come back home, make dinner. I mean, that just doesn't exist anymore. I'm focused. I'm more patient. I'm happier overall. And I'm teaching my daughter how to do this. She wants to know, what are you doing? What is this eBay? I'm like, sit down, let me show you. You know, it just has created a more harmonious home environment for everyone. So, yeah.
And I definitely, and I can completely relate to that. I really, really can. That's really one of the major benefits here. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is the options that you have, because again, in so many other companies, all you hear about is recruit, recruit, recruit. I want to know how you're doing, or how you balance it, or how you feel about the choice of being able to pick and choose whether you'd like to sharing it. You don't feel pressure to share it. You can take your time and be steady and focus on one thing, which is what you said, focus.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've never done network marketing before. So the whole ideology behind it, I understood it. Obviously, I've heard of, you know, friends being involved, but I've never personally done a business like this. So for me, it was just the eBay side. I'm like, I'm just going to, you know, do the eBay drop shipping. I had a lot of success my first month. I made $1,850 in profit.
Wow.
And then the next month I made a little bit less. I made $1,200 around. Month 3, probably around 12-ish hundred in profit. And you know, all of that is documented. So, but I started speaking about this to my friends, my other women in my circle that I felt could benefit from it, and just out of you know, the conversation, they were like, tell me more, you know, and that's why I was saying before, it really does sell itself. And now I feel almost like it's my obligation to share this opportunity. Because why would I be so selfish to hold it in?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
I do. And the other thing is there's hardly any business out here that you can get started for $19.95. And it is a recurring $19.95, but who cares about $19.95 when you can make $200 to $500, $800, $900, $1,200 a month? Who cares about $20? All of the training is provided for you, and you can be at ease because the training is at your fingertips. That's the other thing. How was the training for you? How did you find the training?
The training is incredible. I'm in Elite now. I mean, the training is very simple. If you can follow instructions, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It really is hard to fail at this. I think that, you know, it's pretty much laid out for you to succeed. So it's all about your mindset. And I think the biggest thing and the biggest question that I was faced with earlier this year is, what is my big why? Why do I want this freedom? Why do I want to be home with my child? You know, and that was my why. So if anyone's listening, you know, dig inside. What is your big why? You're obviously here for a reason. So click the join now.
Yes, that is wonderful. And thank you so much. The one last question I wanted to ask you, well, one thing I wanted to ask you about is what made you want to upgrade? Because in so many businesses that I had been in previously, there was so much pressure to upgrade. So what is your feeling about upgrading, and did you feel like you upgraded when you wanted to, or what? Did you hear me? We may have lost her. Daniela? Yeah, her internet was a little bit intermittent. But in any case, I know that you heard Daniela speaking, and she's 7 months pregnant now. This is the best filler for your lifestyle when you have children or just family matters, period. The thing is, you have an option here, and some people who were in DS domination, they still have a job, which is fine. But I always say now, let this be the backdrop to your dreams. If you want to keep your job, keep your job. But this can be your summer funding, F-U-N-D-I-N-G, for whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do, travel, pay for things for your family. This is a great option for you. So, Ron, are you there? Ron Gardner?
No, Mark.
Ron?
Mark.
Mark, okay.
Yep, I'm here.
All right. I'm going to get Ron Perkins. Mark Gardner. Okay, see, the excitement is gone crazy. Okay, Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing super.
Yeah,
I'm here in Northern California. It's a little warm, so if it sounds like I'm in an airplane engine, it's because I got a fan going behind me here.
Oh, okay. As long as you're not a stowaway, we're okay. All right. So
I'm fully paid, sis.
I know that's right. Come on with it, Mark. Tell us why in the doggone world are you in DS domination, and how did you get here?
Well, I got in DS domination when I got a Google invite to a hangout just like the one we're on right now from a lady by the name of Rachel Keller. And I didn't really know Rachel, but, you know, she presented me with this opportunity, so I decided, well, I'll go listen to the hangout. And when I got to the hangout, there was this real smooth brother there named Jay Scott. And he was just so laid back, you know. I mean, and he just had this voice, and he's talking about how I got to, got to this business for my wife, and, you know, I didn't really want to do it. And then I heard him say, and I made $800 in one day, and I went, say what? And at that time I was a registered nurse. I'd been a registered nurse for 18 years, and I've been a behavioral health nurse that whole time, psychiatric registered nurse. And this came along at a particular time in my career where I'd actually been injured at work, so I was off of work for a while. And what was happening in my life at that time, I had lost my mom in 2010, and then my sweetheart passed away from cancer in 2011. So for a long time, I'd been real blue, you know. And one thing that when I got into DS domination, the community that we have here in UOP, I got some of my joy back from sharing with the people here. And because everybody here is so giving, you know, I don't know how to explain it to people other than to say you just have, you know what they say in the religious way we say it is better felt than told, you know.
Better felt than told.
That's right.
But we actually, it is like a brother. I mean, I say it all the time. I say my brothers and sisters in the UOP. Yeah. That's the way I feel about all of you guys, you know. And I've been very blessed.
That's a wonderful thing. Yeah, you know, that's one thing about this group is that even though it's very interesting because this is a virtual community, and so I'm so glad that you said that because it makes everyone feel comfortable. It doesn't matter where you're from. I've said it before earlier on in the Hangout. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what language you speak because we have people who speak multiple languages. It's just so nice to come into a community where you can come back from some things. So I'm really glad that you said that. So you were injured, like similar to Dell. And so has your family noticed DS domination?
In fact, I signed up my cousin just this past week.
Wow.
I didn't contact him. He contacted me and said, look, man, I've been watching your Facebook. What's going on out there? Because he's back on the East Coast in Florida, and I'm out here on the West Coast in California. So he's like, hey, I'm signing up. This accent is from a little Appalachian town back in Southwest Virginia, which is where I grew up, and I had no intention on doing any recruiting. I was like most people. I wanted to just come on, make my eBay sales, and go about my business. But
as I've posted to Facebook, I've actually signed up like 3 people from back home in my hometown. They got in contact with me and said, hey, we'd like to know what you're doing. So here I am, a recruiter, and I didn't even know it.
That's right.
But, and that's the wonderful thing, because you don't have to be one.
It has been really good for me. I've been able to make good profit just over the past. I just did the numbers last night, and just over the past 2.5 weeks, I'm at $1,250 in profit for that 2.5 week period for this month. Been very, very happy.
Whoa, 2.5 week period. So, oh my goodness, wow, that's awesome. So, is any of that money going to help you get to Vegas?
Oh, sis, honey, the day that Roger had the special call, I mean, he didn't even get the call when they opened the desk. I know Josh Jacobs was sitting there watching it and saw my thing come in, because I was like, I had to be one of the first 100 people in there. But I bought the VIP ticket, booked the room, and got the flight all on the same day. So, yep. And I'm like you guys, I'm flying in early. I'm going to be there Thursday night. And I'm not leaving until Monday.
We're all getting that. Yes. Indeed. We are there to spend time, learn and connect with one another. We've been virtual for long enough, so we will be going to Las Vegas, and you will be joining us, and we will all be there. So wonderful. So would you say that anybody can do this business?
I would say that anybody who can copy and paste and follow directions can do this business. Okay. That's it. If you can copy and paste and follow directions, you can do the DSD business. It's that simple. I mean, so I don't want to say the E word, the easy word, but I mean, it's simple if you can do what I just said.
Yes, that is wonderful if you can be teachable. So would you recommend this business to anybody?
I do all the time. When I go to my dry cleaners, when I go to the grocery store. I got my business cards with me all the time. Well, let me tell you about that.
That's what I wanted to know. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
I never considered myself a recruiter or a salesman. I hate pushy salesmen, to be honest with you. I don't like pushy people like that at all. But I mean, it's just like Daniela said. It's almost selfish not to share what we have here with other people. So that's where I'm coming from. And I'm a nurse, and I want to retire. You see my name? It says the Time Clock Killer. Lakeisha's already out. Yep. I'm out. I'm going to retire every nurse I can get my hands on out with DSD. So wait till we all get. I was also thinking, wait till we all get to Vegas. I wonder how many housekeepers and stuff are going to get to retire, because DSD's coming to town, and baby, we're going to hit with cards and drop cards, and Bruce going to be dropping money. Well, no,
That's right. I'm telling you, everybody's on a mission. Bruce is out there helping veterans. You and Lakeisha are out here trying to retire nurses. I've got the handle on single parents. We are rocking and rolling in DS domination. That's what's up. We know why you're coming to Vegas. At this point, we know why most of us are coming to Vegas, but now we're getting ready to go to Kat Cooley and find out what in the world has been exciting her so much that now she has to sit still and she can't come out to Vegas and play with us, but that's okay because we've got her covered. So thank you so much, Mark, for sharing with us. We're going to move to Kat Cooley.
Hey,
Kat, come on, talk to us.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I sure can.
All right, good, because sometimes this headset doesn't work very well. Let's see. I like Ronald here. I am old school, came from marketing offline before, I guess it was probably in the 80s. I've done a lot of different businesses. Some of them you would know if I mentioned them. I'm usually in the hole and not succeeding. Recently I did start having some success, but I could never get my members, my downline, to have success. I could never seem, I was like always having to call them up, and like that thing you use to fan the coals on a fire, having to blow them up every month to keep them moving, and then they just deflate when you walk away. I came into DSD, when I first saw it, I was with another company doing something that wasn't marketing, because I had my own business, and this gentleman offered it to me as a way to market what he was doing. I'm not quite sure how he thought that would work, but I kind of looked at it and was like, maybe. But then Rachel Kelly, my dear friend, we've known each other for a while. We've traded back and forth with who was entering who into business, gone to events together many times. She came to me and she said, you need to do this. And I watched her within a very short period of time go from, as she says it, borrowing money to feed her kids to, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Are you getting that?
Just a little.
Yeah. Not sure what's doing it. Hold on a minute.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Anyway, she went from borrowing money. Let me try this without the headset.
Yeah.
Went from borrowing money to taking her whole family out to celebrate a birthday dinner, and she paid for it within just a couple months. Well, I got in shortly after her. I kind of played around with it. I didn't want to be an affiliate because of what happened in my last business. They all walked away, and so did my income, rather suddenly. But people kept coming to me and asking me what I was doing. They kept seeing me posting about the sales I was making. I made my first sale within hours. I made my second sale before the 24 hours was up. And I like it because in DSD, you set your net income. When you go to eBay and you set your prices and follow what they teach you, you're the one that decides what you're going to be making. Nobody else tells you how much money you need to set it for so that your net profit is what you want it to be. We teach you how to decide that. But you're the boss. You're in control. When the money comes in, it goes to you and no one else. And that's what I like. That's what I wanted. Well, I had 5 people come to me and insist that I give them the link. So I gave them to Rachel, and I had no problem with that. But when the 5th person came around, it was like, I may not want to be an affiliate, but I need to plug that hole up because I was losing money. And it was only $9 to be an affiliate, so there was a no-brainer there. I have now recruited, I think, 17 people, and I have not done the first marketing. Wow. I have not paid for any marketing. I have not even done Craigslist. All I've done was tell people on Facebook in my posts what I'm doing. And that's it. Every time I post something, someone comes to me and says, tell me more. It's so simple. It's not even, I would say it's not even funny, but it is a lot of fun because you guys are just, you make it fun. We really are, you are a very upbeat person. And like somebody said, I'm getting some of the joy back in doing the marketing. I'm getting some of my dreams are starting to come alive again with the reality of what I can do. But the best part is, even though I kind of played around with it and didn't go full force with it right away, I have a couple people in my downline who are actually making more money than I am. And they're in elite, whereas I'm not yet. And that speaks volumes to me because I don't even have to worry about whether my downline is doing anything. Half of them, I'm there. If they want to talk to me, I try to stay in touch with them, but they don't need me to help them do this business. They're taking off on their own. And that, to me, is more important than anything else. Because I can always see what I do, and I can always make more money for me. But it's really depressing when you tell somebody you can make money with this, and they come in and they flop, and they can't do it. So for me, being able to say to somebody, yes, I'm making money, and I know you can, and seeing them do it is just the biggest push for me to want to do more. It actually encourages me and makes me want to reach out and do more. So,
Absolutely.
I can't say enough. I'm disabled. I have ADHD, severely so. If I wanted to, I could go on Social Security because of that. I also have a disability in my left leg and breathing issues. So I can't work outside the home. DSD provides me with a platform that allows me to work around the things that are going on in my life physically and still make an income so I don't have to sit back and depend on the government to take care of me. And my goal is to reach out to those people that either need it or have it. And I'm not against people getting what the government offers them. Social Security is something we pay for all of our lives. But why limit yourself to that income? $600, $800 is the average of what most people get. You can't live on that. And what I want to do is reach out to these people and help them find, whether it's just a supplemental income or a complete change, but help them to be able to do something for themselves and give them, purpose and dreams back. So,
we're getting a lot of interference for some strange reason with the interaction with your mic, but we got a lot of what you said. We totally understood what you said, and again, you're another testimony as to how DS domination meets people where they are in terms of disabilities. It doesn't matter. We didn't know what you had. We still don't know, and it's fine with us because you're just part of the UOP family. So I'm so glad. We have had a full panel tonight. A lot has been said. A lot has been shared. Our hearts have been shared. Our minds have been shared. The opportunity has been spoken upon. The Get Started Right Now button is right beneath this hangout, and we would love to have you added to our team right now today. Once you click the Get Started button, you get started today, and you could very well have made yourself some money by the end of this week very easily. Get in, get started. We've all been in different businesses. We've all done different things. We all have different family matters. We've all come back from something. None of that matters. If you want a change, you can have a change. It's here for the taking at $19.95, which is peanuts compared to anything else I've ever seen in the past 25 years. So I have no hesitation whatsoever in inviting you to get started in DS domination. There is no pressure here. There's plenty of training and personal development. I'd like to thank each and every one of our panelists tonight for sharing their hearts and sharing what DS domination means to them and what it has done for them. We have no intentions of stopping. We have just gotten started. This is a very young company. We're coming up on 1 year, and just in 6 months, we've grown by thousands and thousands of people. I would like to say that all teams are not created equal, and the UOP, the unit of prosperity, is one unique family here. So I invite you to come and join us. Does anyone else have any closing remarks at all? Austin, Bruce, Daniela, Dell, Valerie, my wonderful, fantastically fabulous co-host. Wait, hold it. Okay, hold on, Dell. I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay, sorry.
Wait a minute. Valerie never told us her story. She never did. See, she thought she was going to get away. Valerie, let's go. Let's go.
No, I didn't tell my story, did I? Well,
no, you did not. I got you, Valerie. I got you, girl.
You know, my story is probably very similar to a lot of people out there. I've been in so many different businesses over the course of 20 years. I just really couldn't make a dollar. I was in one company for a year where I made $200 for the whole year, but I love the company, I love the products, but I couldn't make it. And then I came across DS Domination, where I just saw the vision. It just made sense, like Daniela said. It just made sense to me. And I got started, not initially. I kind of sat around for a bit, and a few days later, I finally listed some items, and then they started to sell. One day, 1 sold. Another day, 2 sold. And before you knew it, I ended a month with $3,000 in profit. So to say that, you know, I was a believer, yeah, I was a believer very quickly. And I was one of those people where my sponsor quit. She joined the business. I joined her, and then she said, "This is too hard." And by then I was making sales, so I was like, "Okay, bye." So I saw the vision, and I just kept plowing forward, and then I started, you know, just spreading the word. And I was one of those who couldn't recruit my mother, as I used to say. Now I'm sure I can get my mother to do this. So for me, DS Domination has just It's what a lot of people on the panel said. It's brought my joy back. It really has. It's brought my joy back. It's brought me. I love to travel now. I'm traveling a lot, and I must say it's all because of this company is all because of the people and the leadership and the team, because all of this is not possible without the help of a team. And that's something that I really never experienced, this tightly knit group, until I got with the Unit of Prosperity. So I'm forever thankful for that. But my story is just like yours. I struggled, but I refused to leave my struggle, and that's the message I hope you've gotten to see from the people on the panel, which is that your struggle is not who you are. You are who you want to be, and it's up to you to make that change and get your joy back. We have people who are retiring their wives. We have people who are disabled and supporting their families. We have young people on here who are making money and making a business for themselves. We have people who are, I don't want to forget all the stories, helping veterans. I mean, come on. What an amazing day to talk about our veterans and having passion and being able to give back. And my passion is traveling, and I want to be able to give the joy of travel to other people. And that's where I'm coming from. So for you, you may be trying to make a couple extra dollars, but believe me, it's not about the money. It's what the money can do for you, what the money can do for your family, what it can do for your self-esteem, what it can do for your dreams. You can dream again instead of worrying all the time. Get the stress out of your life. Stop the worrying. There's no reason for it when you have this opportunity. It's right here at your fingertips. For less than $20, you can turn your life around. So this week I'm heading off to Vegas to meet the team and to get more training and to meet the owners. And then next week I'm heading off to Bermuda, all because of this business. And I cannot be more thankful for the opportunity that I just clicked on that link. That's all I did was click that link, and everything for me changed. So that's my story and my message to you. And for those of you who want to know exactly what we do, on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., Roger, the co-owner of DS Domination, walks you through step by step exactly what we are doing to make money for ourselves and our families. If that's what you want to see the hands-on nitty-gritty, then get back with the person who sent you here and you can see it for yourself. That should be all you need. We've told you everything. We shared our hearts. We shared our stories. The rest is truly on you. So thank you so much for being with us tonight. We will see you next Sunday with the Winning Women Network, where you see tons of women and moms and grandmas just crushing it on eBay. Women are taking over this industry, and you need to see them. So that's my message for tonight. Thank you all so much for being with us and taking the time out of your day, your Memorial Day, and thank you to our veterans for your service. So that's it. Have a great evening, everyone, and we will talk to you soon.